As we reach the end of the campaign, we're bringing back someone who's been with us every step of the way, our pollster of record, the founder and chief data scientist of Nanos Research, Nik Nanos. Hey, Nick. Good to see you.
Hey, Vashi.
You did your final data set after, gosh knows, 37 other ones overnight. What did you find? Like, where did things settle from what you were able to discern?
You know, it's interesting, Vashi, when we look at the last survey that we did yesterday and released yesterday, it's a mad dash to the finish between the two frontrunners. Only 3 percentage points between the Liberals and the Conservatives. And Vashi, if you remember, over the course of the campaign, you know, the Liberals have had upwards of a 10, 11-point advantage, and that's been narrowing down over the last number of days. And, you know, the two key battlegrounds, Ontario and British Columbia, are a toss-up. They are a statistical dead heat, and there's a lot of seats in play. Those two provinces can really shape the form of the next government.
And what's your sense, Nick, of the narrowing? Like, as you point out, there were points in the campaign, particularly the first half, where the Liberals looked like they could run away with this thing.
Yeah.
In the last 10 days, even the last week, from what I remember from our conversations, that's when you really saw a tangible narrowing.
Absolutely. You know, the hype for the Liberals was actually around Liberation Day, April 2nd, when Donald Trump kind of slapped tariffs right around the world. And, you know, the thing is that Mark Carney responding as Prime Minister, all that kind of stuff helped the Liberals and helped them kind of boost their advantage. But after that was out, what we got was a focus on meat and potatoes issues, the rising cost of living, housing, stuff like that. And, you know, with the focus on what I'll say more traditional issues, it really leveled the playing field for the two frontrunners. And, you know, the thing is that, you know, for Pierre Poilievre and the Conservatives, you know, them being at around 40%, according to the survey that was released yesterday, you know, that is an excellent number. That's a historic. Guess what, Vashi? I am such a geek. I checked every election since 1930. And if the Conservatives can deliver 40% support, Pierre Poilievre will be in the same category as 2 John Diefenbaker wins, 2 Brian Mulroney wins, a Stephen Harper win, and check this out, R.B. Bennett from 1930. Holy
You did
moly.
really go back.
So,
yeah.
No, but, you know, it speaks to the context of, you know, in any other world, 40% for the party and especially 40% for the Conservatives would be a big win. But the Bloc is getting crushed. The NDP are getting crushed. And it's just tough for a party to try to form a government in a two-party race with only 40% support.
It's fascinating. And I think part of that story is also what we call vote efficiency,
yeah.
which basically just translates into how easy is it to convert your popular vote into seats? And what is the story there historically? You know,
historically what we've seen, especially in the last couple elections, is that, you know, in the last 2 elections, we know that the Conservatives won the popular vote, but were not able to generate more seats than the Liberals. And a lot of this has to do with the prairies, you know, where the Conservatives have pretty comfortable margins in the prairies, and it's just inefficient at converting into seats as opposed to winning a whole bunch of seats across the country by lesser margins. You know, but you know the thing is that looking at the distribution right now, Ontario and British Columbia, because it's so tight, if something tilts one way or the other, if one party has a greater and better organization on election day to deliver their vote, it could be a bit of a game changer. So I would say, you know, I'm not going to say all bets are off, but we'll have to wait and see in terms of what happens when it comes to converting the vote into seats. Structurally, the Liberals have an advantage. The question is, will that continue in this election?
Okay, final question for you is really about something that we will all have our eyes glued to. What's the magic number and the different scenarios that gets a party there?
Yeah, well, the magic percentage, you mean, or the magic
seat number? Pardon me.
The magic seat numbers. The magic seat number is 172. But here's another thing: we've been crunching our seat projections every night. We do our own seat projections. In the last 7 days, the Liberals have gone down 20 seats, and the Conservatives have gone up 20 seats. You know, it's like if this election continued for another 2 to 3 weeks, it might look very different than an election that's finishing today.
Yeah, very true. Okay, there you see it on your screen, 172. Our eyes will be peeled on that number. Nick, thanks so much for making the time, as always, tonight and throughout the entire campaign. Really appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.